tell Arquette I'll wait until her strength returns. Reassured that we were both on board with the plan, she soon fell asleep. I watched her until I was sure she was sound asleep, then left the apartment. It should be obvious where I'm headed. The department store by the station, where Vlov's stronghold is located. Shit, let's do it then. Okay. It's getting intense. The area in front of the station is no different than usual. Advertisements and goods are on display up and down the colorful shopping district. People come and go, occasionally glancing at the shop windows as they pass by. At the center of the bustle stands a large, familiar department store. It's one of the biggest department stores in the city. Even now, crowds of people are making their way in and out. Is this department store, which some consider to be the embodiment of Ciel Station, really where... Dang, that place is huge, holy shit. Looks like a damn stadium. Even so, I don't think Arquette was lying. She's got no common sense, but her judgment and information are accurate. It may be precisely because she's not bound by common sense that she arrived at this improbable conclusion. There's a part-time job that takes anyone and pays handsomely. It's an urban legend with zero credibility, a transparent ploy that almost certainly spells trouble. If it's persisted this long on the internet, neither disappearing nor going viral, it may be because it's not totally a lie. There's no one who can testify to the details of this part-time job. It's also unclear whether anyone has actually done it. Nevertheless, rumors about the job continues to circulate. Nobody knows how many people are receiving these messages, but they're definitely still being sent out. In other words, regardless of the authenticity of the content, there's someone out there who requires outsiders. As it turns out, there's nothing unusual about the department store. From the grocers in the basement to the specialty shops on the 7th floor, it's an ordinary department store. Except... the elevator only has buttons to go up to the 7th floor, and once you reach the 7th floor landing, there's a sign on the stairs saying that anything further is off limits. Aiming for a moment when no one is around, I slip past the no-entry rope and climb up the stairs. The stairs lead up to the floors above, but I hit a dead end. The path leading to the 8th floor is shuttered, as expected. Next to it, there's a locked emergency door. Good thing you got your lines of death. I debate whether to go inside or turn back. I know that what I'm trying to do is reckless. I'll be entering the monster's hideout alone. It would be madness to proceed. That's been drilled into me over and over again at this point. Hell yeah, slip out that knife. I clutch the knife hidden in my pocket. If push comes to shove, I've got my eyes. I considered running into the police and explaining the situation. It would definitely be the safest option. But what would that achieve? My objective here is to kill him. How is a killer supposed to be able to persuade the police to help him? There's no way such natural adversaries could share a common purpose. I take off my glasses and kill the lock on the emergency door. I swallow nervously, feeling the saliva trickle down my numb throat. After taking a deep breath to calm myself down, I slink up to the next floor, where all the lights are out. Oh, those mannequins? The entirety of the 8th floor is pitch black. In a way, it makes sense considering all the lights are off, but it still comes as a shock. It's daytime. Even if the power is off, the floor should still be lit by the sunlight coming through the windows. Except, each and every window is blocked from the inside by something that looks like an iron plate. This is too much simply to be anti-theft measures. The iron plates are attached with bolts and cannot be removed by human strength alone. Even the small window in the bathroom has a plate bolted over it. It's like a pathological obsession, and yet the work is messy. The size of the steel plates doesn't quite match the size of the windows, so some sunlight still seeps through the cracks. Rather than being here to prevent intruders from entering, I can only see it as a measure to prevent someone inside from escaping. Or am I simply overthinking it, and these are just blinds? Even so, even though there's dust everywhere in the hallway, I can't smell anything foul or spot any strange objects lying around. This floor is probably just under renovation. Nothing here reminds me of the gruesome spectacle at the hotel. What about that tent you thought of? My tense nerves begin to relax a little. Not realizing that letting my guard down even a little might prove fatal, I head up to the 10th floor. And then, at that moment... Who are y'all? I tense back up at the sudden voice. At the entrance by the top of the stairs stands a duo with flashlights. Uh-oh. I observe them, squinting into the light. They're both male, and around the same age as me. They only have flashlights in their hands, no long-handled tools like bats or pipes.
Oi! 何黙ってるんですか? 悪いことしてる自覚あるんですか? 何こいつダサくね? 見るからにビビってね? 俺たちと人種違いすぎね? なあ、トシ、このメガネ君は知り合いですか?
So I guess these are the employees of this little work gig.
恥ずかしくて死んでるって。はい、そこの僕、こっち来てね。逃げたらひどい目に遭うからね。つうか殺すか。法律的に殺していいんだよな。不法侵入って。
Duo laugh, but don't move from where they stand in front of the elevator. They said not to run away, but I didn't even consider fleeing via the stairs.
あれ? なんか反応薄い? 逃げねえの? 普通逃げるでしょ、このシチュー。トシ、こいつなんか怪しくね? てめえの顔がくどすぎんだよ。メガネ君には刺激が強すぎるってもんだ。なあ、そうだよな。面食らってるだけだよな。なんで立ち入り禁止のフロアで遊んでるわけ?
In the dark of the hall, I could swear their eyes were glowing ever so softly. What do I do? Should I run away or try to talk to them? I don't even know if this place is really that vampire's nest. Can I confirm that with these two guys?
何これ? もしかしてボーナスタイムじゃね? なあ、トシ、アポのないやつは好きにしていいって話だよな、確か。うるせえ、ハル。1分だけ黙ってろ。で、どうなの、オタク。ただの物好きなわけ。
Still nothing, huh? I'll obtain as much information as I can get on what's going on here. I keep a close eye on the movements of the duo.
すみません。ここでアルバイトができると聞いたんですけど。
I say it in a meek voice, keeping a close eye on the man named Toshi.
アルバイトね。どこでその話を? 最近はバカな女連中にしか話してねえんだけどな。
人づてに知ったんです。北口のアパートで一晩過ごせば大金がもらえるって。
なんだそれ。てめえ本気で言ったん？いいじゃんよ、トシ。多い分にはいいんだからさ。つーかほら、こいつのダッセー服、宗谷の制服じゃん。さっき捕まえた女と同じ交渉だし、仲間じゃねえのかな。
Girl we snagged earlier. Yeah, so they really are working for the big dude of love. I somehow managed to keep my cool. That girl we snagged earlier, that means someone was here before me, talked to these guys, and was captured.
確かに頭の緩そうな女だったしな。ええぜ、アルバイトだろ。連れて行ってやるよ。勇敢な挑戦者1名様、ごんない。
The man named Haru pushes the button for the elevator. A mechanical sound echoes in the darkness. It seems to be the only thing here connected to power.
ほら、入りな。
I do as the man says and board the elevator. The pair follow me inside, and one of them presses the beep 1 button.
どこに？地下だよ、地下。ビーチって見えねえか？そこで一晩過ごしてくれればいい。戻ってきたら乗客の仲間入りだ。丁重に扱ってよ。そうそう、すごく簡単でちからね。時間を潰せばいいだけ。何にも怖いことはありません。
Somehow I don't believe that. The man called Haru starts guffawing, almost doubling over with laughter. The descent is taking a surprisingly long time. If my gut's anything to go on, we must be about 4 floors below the ground by now. The moment the elevator doors open, an intense light comes flooding in. It's so dazzling that I can't see what's out there at all. The only thing I can sense is a stench unlike anything I've encountered before. Unable to bear the smell, I cover my nose with my hand. When I go get a better look at what's outside the elevator...
Hi! 餌1匹追加でーす！面白おかしく食べられちゃってくださいね！
I'm kicked in the back and sent flying out the elevator. I feel myself falling. And not just 1 or 2 meters either. Did that elevator stop in mid-air? Oh, this doesn't look good. Underneath the elevator is a pool. I must have fallen around 5 meters. Once I get my head above water, I look up and see that the elevator is still hanging there, motionless. The man who kicked me, Haru, is looking down at me with a grin on his face. Ignoring him for the moment, I start kicking my arms and legs and swim toward the shore. The water is thick and turbid, and I get the sense that just being in it is dangerous. Somehow part of me is thinking that's not water, and it's something else. After swimming about 10 meters, I reach the shore. My mind and body are both a little shaken up. Panting heavily, I look around at my surroundings. Damn, the lights are so bright I can barely see. As best I can tell, I'm in a fairly large room with a bunch of passageways leading off in all directions. Judging by how the ground feels under my shoes, I'd also wager that the floor down here is made of stone. And of course, there's the stench that assails my nostrils. The odor of rotten flesh, the smell of foul water, the reek of the feces and urine, stagnant and morbid. The atmosphere down here is that of a sewer. Ah, I see. At that low droning sound, I look up. That wasn't just my ears playing tricks on me. It's the sound of a vast number of footsteps, all drawing nearer at once. Shielding my eyes from the light, I take a look around, and there, pouring into the central chamber, are the figures of people that look like they've already been reduced to corpses. Their eyes are bloodshot, their flesh is grazed and peeling, their clothes hang in tatters. I can't tell whether the sounds issuing from their mouths are sobs or shrieks. And seen in silhouette, they look exactly like those corpses I saw in that back alley. However, these people... My mind freezes. Oh, and they're the dead. When I look behind the group of people and see the things that are hot on their tails, it's immediately clear who the real corpses are. I call out to them, but it's already too late. I'm standing on the opposite bank, with the entire pool between me and them. I don't have the strength necessary to cross it in on the few seconds they have left. Christ. No! An eruption of voices cry out in desperation. They're people who were dropped down here, same as I was, and have spent who knows how many days in this place. When they heard the sound of the elevator and saw the light, they gathered here to beg for help. Which means, all the prey are now gathered in one place.
うひょーすげえクソども生きてますか生きてますねすげえのに俺最高頭悪すぎて笑い止まんないんですけど
What assholes! His laughter echoes from the elevator. I can feel a headache coming on. I feel nauseous. The footsteps continue to draw closer. My instincts are screaming that if I stay here, I'll be attacked. Driven by my fear, I start running. Even though I know that the only way out is the elevator 5 meters above me, I have to get away from here. Delirious with terror, I plunge into the pitch-black passageway in front of me. And this scenery looks oddly familiar. My heart screams, telling me I can't run any further. My legs feel like they're about to fall off, and I collapse to the floor in a heap. I rest my back against the wall that's riddled with cracks. Tilting my head back, I expel the hot air from my lungs. With that, I'm finally released from the panic that had gripped me. I have so many questions. What was that? What is this place? The atmosphere is wet and slimy. It feels like fat flesh and blood. A glistening layer of animal fat is smeared across the walls. The path slopes gently downward. It's as if it's sinking into the depths of hell itself. I strain my eyes in the darkness. The thing I'm resting against isn't a wall at all, but a set of sturdy iron bars. Iron bars. In other words, this is a prison. Turning away from the currently empty passageway to look inside the prison, I see a 1 meter long caterpillar. Lying there is a lump of flesh, something that used to be a living being, its limbs torn off to prevent it from escaping. Jesus Christ. A wave of nausea hits me like a ton of bricks. A red-hot lump rises up in my throat. This is bad. I can't do anything that would leave a smell. I have a feeling those corpses will come after me if I do. I bang my head against the bars to clear my mind. But it's not enough. As long as I stay here, it won't be enough. I can't stay here. I can't keep looking at this hell. Is it my mind, my morals, or something more fundamental? Whatever it is, some part of what makes up Tonoshiki is broken. That's why I have to get out of here as fast as I can. I need to get back to the elevator, buddy up to those two guys somehow, and get back to the surface or I'll... I slam my head against the iron bars in anger. Making use of the excessive pain, I force those thoughts, the thoughts of any normal person would have, from my mind. I want to throw up, I want to throw up, I want to throw up. I desperately want to vomit at my own stupidity. Good lord. I suppress the shivers that even now run down my spine through sheer self-disgust. I'm seriously about to lose it. I didn't have the resolve to do even a single thing. I can't let that vampire go unchecked. I'll save as many people as I can. I may have talked a big game, but the moment I was confronted by this reality, I ran away crying. I strike the iron bars in shame and frustration. How disgraceful, just looking at how pitiful I really am. This is my true nature. I wasn't driven by a sense of justice at all. It was nothing more than a superiority complex. What I called resolve was only my own arrogance from being in possession of these mystic eyes. They'll come for me if I make any noise. Even though I understand that, I keep on beating my emotions out against the iron bars. Jesus. The lives burnt to ashes at the hotel. I was the only one to make it out alive. And I am the only one who caused all of this in the first place. All my actions amount to is me trying to prove that I could do something, trying to escape that feeling of guilt. I was acting like hot shit because I thought I had a way to kill him, and didn't even listen to Arclade's warning that it should stop. I just wanted to be useful. I wanted to prove to her that I'm useful, and for her to forgive me. I was unconsciously clinging to such a childish desire. I grit my teeth and swallow the screams that's building in my chest. Tears start to well up in my eyes at how repulsive I am, but I hold them back. This is me reaping the rewards of my own rash decision. I accept the fact that I overestimated my strength, was blind to my own true colors, and entered a vampire stronghold with paper-thin resolve. Now that I'm done beating myself up over it, I finally feel a lot calmer.
そうだ。逃げ道はない。俺にはもう。
All I can do is continue to push forward. I had been doing my best to avoid looking into the prison, but now I turn and stare at the contents. I survey the human corpses that have been jammed into every available space in the walls. It may have been a rash decision that led me here, but I etched this image into my brain so that I'll never forget what drove me to come here in the first place.
ビビってる場合じゃない。そんなのは昨日の夜で終わっただろう。シキ。
You can call me a hypocrite. If I can't get rid of the guilt I feel from being the sole survivor, then I'll just carry it with me forever. And if that revulsion can give me the power I need to push through this hell, then I'll milk it for all it's worth. I don't have any other straws I can cling to. Harnessing all of the emotions, lies, boiling inside me, I finally managed to spur my frozen feet forward. Dang, the lies above that emotions holds a lot of weight. I walk along the hard stone path. My eyes must have started to adjust to the darkness, since I can now make out some of the details of my surroundings. The stone the passageway is made from is faintly phosphorescent. I can also see the residue left by flaming torches on the walls. It's not something I really want to dwell on, but it'll seem that whatever lives down here is in the habit of lighting the place up at night. The passage feels like it goes on forever. It seems straight at first glance, but it's actually tracing a subtle curve. Dotted between the individual jail cells are passageways that branch off to the sides. They all look basically identical, making them worthless as waypoints to navigate by. The only thing I have to guide me is the slope of the floor. In short, if I want to keep going down, I need to keep going forward.
この通路、何かの周りを回ってるのか?
It's possible that it's a very long corridor. I get the impression that there's a circular space on the other side of the wall, and that I'm just circling around it. If the elevator stopped at the first floor of the basement, then by now I must already be several floors deeper. I could have sworn I heard the sound of the wind just then, but there's no way that the wind could make all the way down this passageway. That noise must have come from someone. It sounded like a muffled human voice. No, of air leaking from the throat of something that only resembles a person.
いるこの先にあの死人が
Aw, shit. I swallow nervously. With one hand, I take my knife out of my pocket. With the other hand, I reach up and rest my fingers on the frame of my glasses. Calm yourself, you got this. There's no way out. There's no way out. There's no way out. I repeat that to myself over and over. I know full well how reckless it is to go toe-to-toe with a vampire. Even so, I need to keep moving forward. I put all of my strength into my petrified feet, and... Who was that? Was it a conscious decision or instinct? I'm not sure which acted quicker. Only that my intuition won out over my fear. That was a woman's scream coming from the end of the passage. I think I might have a feeling of who that is. And, this is probably because I've watched the opening, like, several times, because the opening is fire. And I'm sure it'll come up eventually, so y'all can see it for yourself if you haven't, but I'm pretty sure I know who that voice belongs to. I sprint across the floor that's slick with fat. I emerge from the cramped passageway into an open area. Glancing around, I immediately get a handle on the space I'm in. It's a large circular room, roughly 6 meters in diameter, and just shy of 2 meters tall. And in it... Oh, Noelle! It's not who I thought it was, but hey. I can see someone who's still alive, but has been driven up against the wall by the encroaching dead. My thoughts can't keep up with this new information. The woman is someone I know. I don't have time to wonder why she's here. There's now only 1 meter separating the woman, Noelle-sensei, from being eaten by the dead. Hurry up, Shiki. I don't stop running. Because the dead are surrounding her, they have their backs turned to me. 4 meters stand between me and them. It'll take me 2 seconds to close the gap. I won't make it in time. Or will I? I put my hand on my glasses as I run. I bring my knife up, holding it in front of my chest, the lines of death. Sure enough, I can see them on their necks. To save, I have to kill. I don't have a way to save her other than to kill them. Yaga. It swooped downwards. The knife that was supposed to cut their necks suddenly changed target and nosedived. Instead of going for the neck and ending its lifeless life, I went for the line on the arm that was reaching for Noelle-sensei. That wasn't my intention. That was the rationality of the man named Shiki, the man who had abruptly stopped thinking. Just how pathetic can I get? The enemies are monsters, they're dead, I can kill them no problem. Save that bluster for once you've actually pulled it off. Whether they're alive or dead, it doesn't change anything. Killing a living thing that looks just like me. I never imagined it would be so nauseating that it would dull the edge of my knife. I slip past the dead that has turned to look back at me and grab hold of Noelle-sensei's arm. The dead reaches out its remaining arm as if to chase after its fleeting prey. Nope. I slide my knife through the lines running down that festering limb. Clutching Noelle-sensei's hand, I dive into the passageway that's right beside us. The sound of footsteps echoes behind us. I run in order to shake them off. As I run, I hold back the urge to vomit. I desperately try not to think about the lingering sensation in the hand holding my knife. All this is the result of just cutting off the corpse's arms. If I'd actually decapitated it, I might have been too shocked to even move.
声を立てると他のゾンビを呼び寄せる。
痛い痛い痛い、もっと優しく握って痛い、もっとしっかり握って引っ張って、もう走れない、
Jesus.
私もう走れない、助けて助けて助けて。
You work at the church like this? God damn. How do you manage? Noel-sensei continues to scream as she runs. I can't blame her for being a little crazed under the circumstances. I've often thought about how much easier it would have been if I gave up myself. But still.
やだ、お家に帰る、タクシー呼んでタクシー、あとコンビニでプリン買って。
What's with this tantrum? That's not mature at all.
ああ、もううるさい。後で買ってあげますから、今はこれで我慢して。
Standing level with Noel-sensei, I wrap my left arm around her and pull her close to me before shoving one of the fingers on my other hand into her mouth. This is purely to stop her from yelling. If I'd covered her whole mouth with my hand, she wouldn't have been able to breathe. Obviously, she then bites my finger as hard as she can. Her teeth sink into the joint right behind my fingertip. Youch.
叫びたいのはこっちです。とにかく走って。
Keeping a firm grip on Noel-sensei as she struggles and wriggles around, I hide the two of us in one of the side passages. I hold my breath and take stock of the situation. I can't hear any footsteps coming after us anymore. Those dead may move like humans, but they aren't able to keep it up for long. They're fundamentally sluggish by nature. They only spring into action when they can perceive their prey, and it seems like they can only sense things that are fairly close by, probably only 10 meters or so at most. I don't know whether they perceive things based on hearing, sight, or something else entirely, but I don't have a way to find out short of returning into one of them.
もういいよ先生。ごめんな、乱暴だった。とりあえず落ち着いて。あいつらもういないみたいだから。
I let go of Noel-sensei's hand and covertly examine our surroundings. I wanted to run away and curl up somewhere safe, but now I feel like I should keep my composure and try to reassure her as best I can.
いない、安全なのここ。
とりあえずはです。ここにいる限り安全はないと思います。俺も落とされたばっかりでわけがわからないけど。ってそうだ、先生はどうして？
Before I can even finish my question, she pins me up against the wall.
嫌よ、どうして安全じゃないの、安全にしてよ。私は生徒指導に来ただけ。女の子限定の怪しいアルバイトだって聞いたらほっとけないでしょ。残業なんて柄じゃなかったけど、たまたま目の前でうちの子が連れて行かれちゃったら放っておけないじゃない。
Jesus, okay, so you were just here for teacher duties, I guess.
先生、落ち着いて。静かに静かに。ね
え、どうして？おかしすぎる。意味わかんない。どうしてデパートの地下にこんなところがあるの？どうして死体が動いているの？どうしてこんなものが今まで発見されなかったの？それにおかしい。どうしてあなたはそんなに平気なのよ。
Yeah, she just look at that look. I mean, like she is horrified right now. Goddamn. She beats her clenched fist against my chest with a thud. There were tears in Noel-sensei's eyes as she spoke those words, and she seems like she's already half mad.
それは。
That's because I knew going in that I was heading into a vampire's nest.
ねえ、怖くないの？いっぱい死体の山。まっとうな人間なら正気でいられない。慣れることなんてできるはずがないじゃない。
My breath catches in my throat. Noelle-sensei may be screaming hysterically, but she still incisively called out my abnormal behavior. This is an unimaginable space. A sprawling network of catacombs that resembles some kind of ant nest, corpses that walk around, survivors being eaten alive, walls of corpses piled high inside the jail cells. Take a look around. This is hell. This is a darkness that the living cannot face head-on, that they can never get used to. It is precisely because humans are rational that they cannot maintain their sense of self here. Normal human beings, at any rate, any ordinary human dropped into this place would be doomed to lose their heads and become beasts no more intelligent than those corpses.
ほら、そうでしょ。私が普通なの。正しいの。ここで平気な人の方が初めからおかしいの。
So, what does that say about me? You calling me crazy, huh? The woman's eyes are filled with hatred. I was going to nod my head in agreement, but end up letting out a sigh instead. After all, she's wrong. I may not be able to express it well, but what she said is definitely wrong.
違いますよ、先生。確かに、俺はちょっと事情が違うけど、先生はそこまでやけにならないでください。息を吸って、落ち着いて。先生なら耐えられます。たとえここが地獄でも、先生みたいな真っ当な人間だから耐えられるんです。
Here you go, reassurance. That's right. That's why we've been gifted with reason. Humans are rational because it allows them to hold their own against the terrors of reality. Reasons don't exist to be broken. It's something we can use to fight against the things we can't control, but we must overcome all the same. I seem to recall someone teaching me that long ago. It's ironic. That's something a good-for-nothing like me never managed to do.
だから大丈夫。落ち着いて、ノエル先生。
無理。私たち、ここで殺されるの。さっきはたまたま助かったけど、同じように殺されちゃう。
Noelle-sensei has tears in her eyes as she wails, but the hatred that had also filled up earlier has disappeared. It seems she stopped panicking, even if she herself hasn't noticed it yet.
じゃあそのたまたまを続けましょう。今は俺と先生、二人もいるんです。助け合えばなんとか。
でも、一人も二人も変わらないってば。だって私、さっきまで二人だったんだから。
She had someone else with her?
ちょっと待って。すみません、聞き忘れてました。そもそも先生はどうやってここに落とされたんですか？
それは、うちの制服の女の子がニット帽子の二人組と話してて、デパートに入っていって、立ち入り禁止の札を無視して8階に上がっていったから、何してるのって呼び止めたらエレベーターに入れられて。
Okay, so, do you know that girl that I thought was the one who was screaming, and said I thought I knew? That girl that the two dudes kidnapped? I think I know who that girl is. Yeah, I think that might be her. Maybe. Her story is pretty much the same as mine. Those two are probably working for the vampire, and their job is to bring unsuspecting people down here.
それで、おかしな広間に連れて行かれて、一緒にいた女の子がおとりになって私を逃がしてくれたの。そうだった。自分が捕まるから先生は逃げて助けを呼んでって。しきくん、どうしよう。私さっきまで怖くてあの子のことを忘れてた。
もう一人いたんですね。
I'd relax a little after saving Noelle-sensei, but my tension suddenly comes roaring back.
それはいつ？
ほんのちょっと前。 30分。1時間。あれ、どのくらい前だったかな。ごめんなさい、わかんない。
I frantically turn over the possibilities in my mind. What should I do? What can I do? What did I even come here to do in the first place?
その広場の場所はわかりますか？
四季君、何考えてるの？もしかして戻るの？下に？いや、ダメだってば、あのゾンビ10体や20体じゃなかったんだから。それよりもう間に合わないし、そもそも助ける算段とかあるの？
その子を助けられるかどうかはわかりません。でもまだ生きているのかだけは確かめないと。
I hope so. I take a deep breath and calm myself down. I step away from Noel Sensei and look off toward the end of the passageway. The end where the floor slopes downward is into the distance. She said down just a second ago. It sounds like there's a good chance I'll find the central chamber if I keep heading down this passage.
行くの？私は行かない。行かないわよ。
Alright, you better keep yourself safe then, so you can get out of here.
ごめん先生、できればここで待っていてください。一緒に来るよりは危険は少ないです。
無責任。それ無責任よね。男の子なんだから私を守ってくれるんじゃないの？っていうか、私を助けに来てくれたんじゃないの？
すみません、それがそうじゃないんです。これ使ってください。
I hand her my knife. It's not much, but she can use it for self-defense. Myself aside, I don't think anyone could fend off the dead with a single knife like this. Still, having a weapon should at least bring her some peace of mind.
ナイフ？これただのナイフ？でも四季君はどうするの？他に武器あるの？
Yeah, you can use your finger, like how you broke the table as a kid. You can just swipe the dead with your finger, and then that'll kill them.
なんとか見繕います。
Or just use
し
like
ばらく待って
something
も戻っ
else
てこな
just
かっ
from
た
the
ら
ground or some shit.
先生だけで逃げてください。
I don't know. Quite the risky move, though. I hand her my knife and begin to walk away. It's a shame, but this is all I can do for her right now.
もう待って、行くから。私も行くから、一人にしないで。そもそもこんなナイフ一本じゃ足りないし。はい、四季君にお返しします。
Okay. Noel Sensei grabs me by the arm and forcefully presses the knife back into my hand, without missing a beat. She then takes her now empty hand and wraps it around my arm as well. I guess this is her way of showing she's determined not to be separated from me.
わかりました。正直言うと嬉しいです。先生がいてくれると俺もほっとします。あとはできるだけ音を立てないようにお願いします。
In other words, shut the fuck up while we're walking.
立てない。任せて。ちゃんとついていくから。
Good. I've ended up dragging Noel Sensei into what I set out to do. I hold her hand tightly so that at least she won't be overwhelmed by fear.
いいけど、四季君、勇気あるのね。
ないです、全然。やばそうだったら逃げます。じゃあ行きます。足元気をつけて。